Good morning and welcome to another pre-market review session. My name is Ray, the market trader, and we're gonna spend some time today and to review the markets. But before we do, let's take a look at our risk disclosure. Okay, I just want to remind everyone that the content that's being today by the market trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company contained herein is intended as investment advice and offered to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. Use of the information contained on the company's website and contained herein is to be used at your own risk. And the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, and contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk. An investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital, money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle, should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation or an offer to buy, sell futures, options, or Forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Okay. Now that we have our risk disclosure out of the way here, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the news. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and share our screen here and review the news here. Okay. All right. So fair amount of news today. We have a number of earnings that's are being reported today. We have of note Boeing, IBM, Texas Instrument, just to name a few. Okay. And then AT&T, AT&T as well. Okay. We have Fed member Goolsbee, Fed member Muslim speaking here at 9 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Okay. We have Fed Waller speaking at 9:45. We have PMI at 9:45 on services, manufacturing, and composite. Okay. And then we have some home sales reports coming in at 10 a.m. And then for those who trade crude oil, we have the EIA crude oil report coming in today at 7:30 a.m. 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. And then some news here after the markets. Okay. So let's go ahead now, and I'm going to go ahead and open up my platform here, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at the news here. So bear with me as I open up my platform. Okay. All right. So I have my platform up. Let's go ahead and bring this up on the screen here. Okay. Let's see. There we are. Okay. So taking a look at the gold. We're going to go ahead and start off with the daily chart here. Okay, looking at the gold from a daily perspective. Now, this is the first time that I guess in some time that we actually had a gap open to the downside. Okay, so we had a gap open. Looks like the gap has been filled, and so again, this is kind of the first indication that maybe we are in for maybe a leg lower in this market. Let's see if I can move this here. Oops, sorry guys. I'm trying to move this in a place where I can see this a little bit better. Okay. All right, there it is. Okay, so the daily chart is indicating, again, you can see here, if we take a look at this, you can see that we've broken some structure here to the downside. Okay. Obviously, this candle is still being developed, but nonetheless, we do have a situation now where maybe we are going to be creating a little bit of structure that could lead us maybe as low as just kind of looking at it from the daily chart. This area right here does seem to be kind of a reasonable area for price to reach. Okay. This area here around let's say 3200. Okay, just maybe a hair under 3200. So that's kind of what I'm seeing on the daily. Again, we have been on a for some time in a structure to the upside, but this is kind of the first indication where we're starting to see maybe a little bit of weakness here in the gold market. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the 4-hour chart here. Okay, so 4-hour chart is giving us kind of the equal kind of feeling here. We have a break or soon. We're right at a level here of support here on the left. You can see that we have a level of support here. We're kind of not entirely sure exactly what direction, but we do see that price is below our VWAP, indicating that we do have some market structure that could lead to further price action lower. Okay, so taking a look at the 30-minute chart. Okay, so looking at the 30-minute chart, you can see again that price is below our daily VWAP. Okay, looks like we are creating a little bit of an area here that could be resistant. Okay, to price right above here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and mark that in as in red here. Okay. All right, so that appears to be an area that could be resistant to price. And then next thing we're going to be doing here is we're going to do a little bit of a volume profile analysis. We're going to go ahead and locate the candle here for yesterday. Okay, start of yesterday. Let's see. This is 23rd. Work our way back to the start of the session here. Okay, right about there. We're going to drag this across to the close of the session. And you can see that price is well below value. Okay, so again, indicating that there's a fair amount of interest to the downside. Okay, so expectation is that if price does manage to come up to this level here around 3,400, that area should prove to be resistant to price. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and manually draw our initial balance range. Okay, so we have this area right here. I'm going to go ahead and draw this as in yellow. Okay, so this is the high of the range. I'm going to go ahead and draw it in as yellow. Okay, this is the low of the range as we currently stand. Okay, this is our initial balance range. Okay, so I would say that headed into the market, it does appear that maybe we are in for maybe a more of a bearish kind of session. Okay, so we like I've mentioned earlier, we did have a gap down. That gap was filled. Okay, and now we had overnight a leg to the downside. Okay, so let's take a look and see where our anchored VWAP is. So we're going to go ahead and see. We're going to start with the London. Okay, so which right about here. Okay, we're gonna maybe color this a little bit differently. See if we can hex is this? We'll modify the color here a bit. Style, we'll change this color to maybe a lighter blue to indicate that this is an anchor VWAP here from London. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that. See if there's any way to adjust the size of this here a little bit to make it a little bit more prominent. Okay, so you can see that price is below both our daily VWAP and our anchor VWAP. Okay, so again, indicating that maybe there is some further downside opportunity in this market. We have a little demand zone that's been established here. So if I do a little bit of, I guess, Fibonacci analysis here, okay, just on this 30-minute chart, well, where could price go? Well, I could see us certainly getting to the lows here, okay, maybe as low as 3,300. Or maybe ultimately down to, let's say 3270. It may not happen today, or in this session, but that's kind of the general structure, that general anticipation that we have here for potential price move. Okay, so that's kind of what I have for the gold. Gold does appear to be a bit, maybe potentially changing sentiment here from bullish to bearish. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see how this initial balance breaks, because again, I will be looking for maybe an opportunity for price to extend initial balance to the downside, come back, retest initial balance, and then potentially give us a move to the downside. Okay, that's kind of what I'm looking at. Now, in order for me to kind of change my opinion, I would need to see at least change my opinion from bearish to bullish. We would need to see if we can get price above, certainly above this area of supply, and I would say around 3345, 3350. Okay, would be that area. Okay, we're going to go ahead and that's going to be an area that we're going to identify again as another area of resistance. Okay, we're going to modify that in red. Okay, so really to kind of change the character, change the sentiment of this market, we need to see price get above this VWAP and above this resistance zone. Okay, so if price manages to do one of these and then we get a little bit of a pullback, then maybe that offers us maybe an opportunity maybe to revisit some of the highs, maybe back up to value area low. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing in the gold market. We're going to go ahead now and move on to the crude oil market. Okay, so crude oil market, we're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings here. We're going to go ahead and start off with our daily chart here. Okay, and we'll take a look and see. Okay, so again, the structure of this market continues to be to the downside. We have, it's sort of in the short term, we've kind of made a little bit of structure here to the upside, but this feels more of a retracement level, maybe a little bit of a pullback for maybe an area here. So I think certainly this entire area opens us up to maybe potential sellers stepping into the market. And again, doing a little bit of a Fibonacci extension analysis on this, I can say that the targets for some of these for some of this moves would be certainly as low as 5350, and ultimately this market could head as low as say 47. Okay, 47, based on what I'm seeing here on the daily. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and remove our extension levels. You can see that we're currently developing a little bit of a bearish engulfing candle here. We do see that we have a little bit of a wick here. This is certainly an area of support down below here. So we're going to go ahead and mark that as an area of support. So we'll modify color here to indicate that it is supportive. Okay, so so we've come into this area, and as expected, We did get a little bit of a reaction away from this area around 62.50. Okay, so assuming that does hold, then that could lead to maybe price action continuing this bullish move here. Okay, so we can certainly have a situation where we potentially bounce off of this level. Now, if we continue to maybe hold this level and continue, maybe break this low here of 61.85, I think that opens the door for us to come back to say 59, 50, 58, 50, yeah, 59, 59, 60 level. Okay. That would be kind of an area here that I would focus in on as an area of our next support. Okay, so this area right here, okay, would be a next area of support that we could potentially see in this market. Okay, moving down to the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. Okay, so again, we've identified some support areas in this market. We do see that we do have a little bit of a developing candle here that is bullish. Okay, we're still in pre-market, so there's no initial balance range to kind of chart out at the moment. So nothing to be said there. But we will go ahead and do a little bit of a volume analysis here and get a sense for where price is in relation to yesterday's value here. So we're going to locate the start of yesterday, drag that across to the close of yesterday, and you can see that price is hovering right at value area low. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and extend that line. Okay, indicate exactly where that line is, right about there. Okay, we're going to go ahead and color that in as blue. Okay, so if we do manage to hold this level, that could create an opportunity that could take us back, certainly back up to value area high. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mark that level there. Okay, and then we have some confluence there with the fact that we have VWAP. Okay, we have our daily VWAP. So that could lead us to maybe a move or maybe an opportunity to take us up to say, was that 64? Okay, 64 doesn't seem to be an unreasonable area for price to reach. Now, it goes without saying that that we are in some bearish structure. Okay, we still remain in bearish structure, as you can see. As I draw my my channel here, you can see that we do remain in some bearish structure to the downside. We are on the lower end of that structure, up against an area of prior support. So my current thinking is that maybe that we have a leg up to maybe value area high before we continue our move to the downside. Okay, so that's kind of my current view of price action at the moment. Okay, if we manage to get above, let's say 64, maybe 60. Yeah, maybe 64.75, then maybe we potentially change the character, okay, of this market. Okay, right now I would say that we are still in a kind of a bearish sentiment in the market. As long as we remain below VWAP, and I'm going to go ahead and draw in our anchored VWAP here just to add some more color to this. And I'm going to locate the start of London here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that, and you can see that price is below London as well. Okay, so again, sentiment remains bearish. Okay, but we are seeing maybe some indications, maybe for maybe a little bit of a more of a mean reversion type of trade back up to maybe VWAP before we potentially continue our journey lower in this market. So heading into the market, I'm a cautious bear. I would say that I certainly need to wait for the EIA report to come out today and see what that entails and what that causes in the way of price action. And basically, my expectation is that we could potentially rally up to VWAP and then create this situation where maybe it creates an opportunity for us to take a short trade in this market. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the crude oil. Let's go ahead now and move on to the equity markets, and we'll start off with the Nasdaq, which is everyone's favorite market here. And so we're going to go ahead and take a look at the daily chart, and you can see similar to what we saw in gold. We received or have received a gap to the upside. Okay, this is a huge gap. Okay, as maybe some of the news that we've received in relation to maybe potentially China and the U.S. coming to some sort of agreement here on a tariff. Okay, we have a gap up. Okay, which is quite bullish. All right, to the upside. Okay, now unlike the gold, this area has not been. We have not revisited this area. Okay, so we have an area of price that has not been visited. So my expectation is that at some point we're going to fill this gap. You're going to fill this gap, and then my assumption is that that we will kind of maybe bounce away from this area. Okay. So daily chart, again, we're starting to see some evidence of some bullish price action here. We have a very solid bullish candle here, had a little bit of a retracement here, and now we have a gap up in the market. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and take a look at the 4-hour chart. Looking at the 4-hour chart, you can see again, we have the gap up. Price is above our VWAP. We're going to go ahead, and I'm not exactly sure what these levels are indicating here. Take a look at the left here. So we're going to go ahead and remove them. Okay. And then we'll remove some of these channels that I had drawn earlier. Okay. All right. So we're going to do a little bit of volume analysis again. We're going to take a look at see where price is in relation to volume or value. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and locate the start of yesterday's trade. We'll first move down to the 30-minute chart here. Okay, again, you can see that price remains above our VWAP. Okay, so again, our sentiment is turning a bit more bullish on this market. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now and draw in our volume profile for yesterday. Okay, I'm going to locate the start of yesterday's session here. Okay, right about there. Okay, we're going to drag that across to the close of the session, and you can see that price is well above value from yesterday. Okay, so this area down below here around 18,400. The expectation is that that would be supportive, because that would be kind of the start of this gap area of the gap that was created on the open. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at our anchored VWAP. Okay, anchored VWAP. Again, we're going to locate London here, today's session, London. There it is. So you can see that price is above London as well. Okay, so again, indicating that there is a fair amount of interest in this market to the upside. So heading into the session, we have about a half hour away from the open. My expectation is that we will see continued maybe price action to the upside. It does appear that maybe we've starting to see maybe a little bit of a change in character here to the upside. Now, obviously, we're always at risk of some headline news that could change things. But for now, right, it seems the market received the news yesterday, or whatever news that was leaked yesterday, very positively. Okay, and that has caused the market to rally. Okay, so I'm kind of looking here to the left-hand side and seeing if there's any sort of structure here to the left-hand side that could cause price to stall. I do see that there is an area here around 19,000. Okay, so this area up here could potentially be resistant to price. Okay, so this is an area that I'm going to go ahead and highlight as a potential area where we could see find some sellers here. Okay, but we have started to break, continuing to make higher highs and higher lows in this market. It'll be interesting to see how price reacts to this level here, okay? Because this level here could offer maybe a little bit of a pullback to price, at which point I would probably be looking for maybe an opportunity, around the VWAP area, or if it does extend to the upside on initial balance, then I would be looking at the initial balance high. I don't believe certainly possible, but doesn't appear that we will necessarily fill the gap today. But if we do, this would be a lot on this area here down at 18,400 would be a logical area for us to look at maybe a possible bullish trade. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the NASDAQ. Again, I'm kind of open to hear if there are any questions, but right now it does appear that the market is looking a bit more on the bullish side than we've had of late. And so it'll be interesting to see how price reacts around this kind of a lot of volume was traded in and around this 19,000 level. So I don't expect that this level is going to, it's not going to be necessarily easy to break through this level. It's going to take some time. So I would expect that maybe that we would get some sort of maybe pullback, maybe something along this lines, pulling back away from this level. Okay. So if I am bullish, then I feel like I need to find an area where I can manage my risk. And that right now, that for me is maybe back down to this anchor VWAP that I've drawn here around 18,860. Okay, that would be kind of the logical level here, at least to best manage my risk. This would be kind of the area that I would be focused in on. Okay, so that's kind of the area that I'm looking at right now. If I'm looking to participate to the bullish side, I'm not going to pay retail, especially as I'm coming up into an area of some congestion here. I'm going to wait for price to come back to a zone where I could manage my risk. Another area that I'm noticing here now is right above here at say 18,925. Okay, this was a prior area of resistance that could become supportive, so that would be another logical area. If I do want to participate to the upside, this could be another logical area to participate. Ideally, we come back to this level below this daily VWAP around 18,000. Let's say let's call it 800. Okay, 18,000. Let's call it 18,800. Okay, this would be kind of the logical area that I would like to be a part of this market, right down by this daily VWAP level. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing in the NASDAQ. Again, it does appear that we are in some sort of bullish structure. It's going to be interesting for me to see how we react around this 19,000 level, or this kind of area above us. If my expectation is that we're going to react maybe bearish initially, and then maybe later in the session we can maybe see some continuation in the move. Okay. All right, let's go ahead now and take a look at the ES. Okay, so looking at the ES, we're going to go ahead and remove our drawings here. We're going to go ahead and open up the daily chart. Okay. Again, similar to the NASDAQ, we have a gap up, okay, in this market that has not been filled. All right, so we're going to go ahead and mark that area in as potential area of support. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and mark it in as green. Okay, indicating that this is a bullish area. Okay, we do have this area above us at 55.10 that has not been broken to the upside, but assuming that we can get above say 55, let's say 55.15, we're going to go ahead and mark that in as red. My assumption is that we could see another leg higher in this market. If I take, again, similar kind of analysis here, if I take the Fibonacci extension tool, take this area down and pull this back, okay, I can see that 57, was that 57? 5,800 would not be out of the question. Okay, in this potential leg up. Okay, so this area right here would be kind of the logical, kind of a measured move, okay, of this swing. All right. This area here around 5,800 could serve as a maybe potential destination or target for this current move. Let's take a look at the 4-hour chart and kind of get maybe some further detail here to give us a little bit of it. So we can see that we have our series of bullish candles. We see our gap. We see that price broke above some structure here to the left of us. We're rapidly approaching an area here that could potentially be resistant. Again, around this 5,500 level does appear to be an area of potential resistance. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that area in red, okay, indicating that this could potentially serve as an area of resistance to price. It would not surprise me if we react away from this, maybe potentially come down and fill the gap before we see any sort of extension to the upside in this market, okay? So we're still about 22 minutes away from the open, but let's go ahead and take a look at our fixed range volume profile here. Let's get a sense for where price is in relation to yesterday's value range here. So we're going to go ahead and drop this down to the 30-minute chart here, and we'll take a look and see. Okay. Oops. All right. So we're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile tool. We're going to go ahead and locate the start of trading for yesterday, drag that across to the close. Okay, so again, similar to the NASDAQ, you can see that we are well above value here. Okay, so well above value right there. Okay, at what was that 53.22, somewhere in that range. Okay, well above value, indicating that we are seeing that price is very much in a bullish view at this point. So we'll have to see how this plays out as the session opens here in the next 20 minutes or so. But right now we have price above value, and I expect that we will open above value. But this could be another logical area here. 53.22 could be another logical area to look for maybe a bounce in this market. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and draw in our anchored VWAP here. Okay, anchored VWAP just for the start of London, okay, which is right about there. So you can see that price is above London. So there's a fair amount of traders here who are on the bullish side. We're starting to see a little bit of a slowdown in momentum to the upside. Okay, again, this could provide us maybe a little bit of an opportunity, assuming that this candle does close as bearish. Okay. My expectation, though, is that we probably will maybe reach this level here before we see any sort of a reversal move to the downside. Okay, so right now we are seeing a bearish candle, but we're still about 20 minutes away from the open of the market. It'll be interesting to see how price opens and how this candle closes. Okay, because we are seeing a little bit of maybe a momentum kind of stalling here as we approach this 54.60. As we approach 54.60, and ultimately I would say 54.70 could be an area where we start to see maybe some sellers beginning to step into this market. Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and take a look here at the Dow. Okay. Again, we'll start off with the daily chart here. Okay. And again, similar to the other equity markets, you can see that price is well above, or actually created a gap here. You can see the gap has not been filled. Okay, so again, giving us the indication that there is a lot of people were willing to pay a premium to get in on the Dow, just like the NASDAQ, just like the ES and other equity markets that we've analyzed so far. Okay. So again, similar to the other equities, we have a gap up indicating the market sentiment may be a bit bullish today. Looking at the 4-hour, we can see that, let's see here. I'm not sure what this is, so we'll go ahead and remove it. Okay, you can see that price is above our value, above VWAP. Okay, above VWAP, again indicating that that we have continued interest here to the upside. I'm seeing that we could be coming into an area here. This was a prior area of resistance. Okay, this area here. So we'll go ahead and mark that as in red here. Okay, so this could be an area of some resistance to price here around 40,400. Okay, moving down to the 30-minute chart, we can take a look and see. Again, we have that little resistance zone that we've drawn already. We have an area that has what will at some point kind of an area that has not been visited, has not been filled. So expectation is that we will fill this gap at some point. Okay. Let's go ahead and draw in our fixed range volume profile here. We'll locate the start of yesterday's session here. Let's see, right about there. Drag that across to the close. Okay, and similar to the other equity markets, you can see that price is well above value. Okay, right at the start of the gap, that was a gap open that we received. So I would expect this area here around was that 39,416 to be a supportive area. Okay, to price, should price come to it, and yeah, so that would be an area. The other area I'm going to go ahead and open up here is our fixed range volume profile here. Not fixed range, sorry, anchored VWAP. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the start of London here, and you can see that price is above anchored VWAP as well. So headed into the market for the Dow, similar to the other markets, I would say that the market is starting to look a bit bullish. I do see, similar to what we were seeing on the ES, I am seeing a little bit of a slowdown to price advancement as we come closer to 40,200, as we are kind of hovering just above 40,000. We're starting to see a little bit of a slowdown that could lead to maybe a leg lower. Okay, maybe back down to some of these prior areas of resistance turning supportive, and offer us maybe an opportunity for maybe a bounce off those levels for a continuation move to the upside. We'll have to see and wait for the initial balance range and see what the initial balance range has in store for us. But I think, at least for now, we are looking a bit on the bullish side. I think it's a matter of us finding a good logical location where we can, best manage our risk for a potential bullish trade. Okay, so I'm looking for a little bit of a pullback. Maybe down to an area where I could maybe locate an area of support. I do see our daily VWAP here around this 30,960 level. That would be a nice logical area for price to come back to and potentially reverse. Should price breach that level, then I would say that we start to open up the door maybe for us to revisit some of these prices, fill in this gap that was created on the open. Okay, so we're just going to take a spin through, since we have some time here, just to take one last look across all the markets here. We're going to see the advancement of we're going to have to modify our initial balance range here. Okay, so there's the change in initial balance. Again, we are seeing that maybe there is the market is going to be a bit on the bearish side today in the gold market. This initial balance range will establish here in the next 15 minutes or so, and then we need to decide from there which direction do the market participants want to take the market. At this point, my view of this is that they want to take the market lower. Okay, and that's kind of how we need to potentially plan our trades, which means that we need to sell strength, sell any sort of retracement back to either anchored VWAP or our daily VWAP. Those would offer us some logical levels for us to participate in the bearish continuation move that we're currently experiencing. Looking at this CL at one last time. Okay, so again, we remain in bearish structure. We do have now our open of our initial balance range. So I'm going to go ahead and open that range up here. This last candle here is establishing the range here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and color that in yellow, okay, to indicate my range, just to make it prominent. Okay, so that's my initial balance range. We have to be careful today with the crude oil market because today is EIA. Okay, you're welcome, George. Today is EIA. So the best path forward is to wait for EIA to report, and at that point decide on which direction they want to take the market. Right now, headed into the market, I'm seeing price below both our daily VWAP and our anchor VWAP, indicating that we should be maybe again focused in on the bearish side, similar to the gold. Okay, and then we'll take one last peek here at the Nasdaq. Again, we're pre-market, but it does appear that we are a bit on the bullish side across the board on all the markets when it comes to the equities. Okay, that developing bearish candle is losing a little bit of steam as we get closer to the close of this candle. Again, it'll be interesting for me to see whether we close on the upper end of this adjacent candle, or whether price is able to consume that candle in its entirety, giving us maybe some indication of maybe some early indications of maybe a potential bearish move. For right now, I would say across the board, equities do look bullish. Okay, and we need to see and locate price reference levels to participate to the bullish side. Okay, so that's what I have for you guys today. As far as the markets go, happy to entertain any questions since we have a little bit of time. Otherwise, we'll close this session as we close all our sessions, and that is to trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right, have an excellent day trading, and we'll talk to everyone here soon.